here's a workflow that allows you to create calendar events in personal Outlook calendars from Monday.com. So we have some items here, and they have dates, they have locations, they have people columns. This is a person, this is a team, and we have an email there. And what we're going to do is we're going to click on the workflow button, and it will generate an event for that item. So let's go to workflows. And in this workflow, we are going to trigger off a button click. But it really could be anything, but we're just using a button click for demonstration purposes. So we're going to choose the board, which is our personal calendar events board, and we're going to choose the column, and it's the workflow button. We then add an action, and that action is going to be calendar, and we can see create event in personal calendar Outlook. So now we go through and we can use the credentials that are saved, or we can take fresh credentials. This opens in a fresh window. And we're now authenticated against that calendar. Now we can select any of the calendars for this particular person. So we are going to go with this one called a separate calendar. And we have the item from the previous step, and we're going to select a duration for the event. So we can have an all-day event or increments of 15 minutes up to an hour or 2 hours. Let's go with a 1 hour event. And the start date and time is going from the date column. The subject, take it from the item name. And we're adding from Monday.com automation so that we know here. And then the body, I'd say, hello, here's an event for whatever the event is. So this is the body that goes into the event message. We can take a URL if we have one, a location, I think we have location columns here, and attendees. Now we can add anyone in the people column, and if you have an email column, you can add the email column as well. Now it asks if you want to add a Teams meeting for the event, and that will automatically create that for you. And we also have the ability to add Monday.com item URL to the event body, and this is just helpful if you're using other automations and products such as a VC Trackit. They like to collect those out of the body and use it for other things. And finally, if the event already exists, we can do one of a variety of things. You can do nothing, you can create an additional event. The one that I like to do is to update the existing event, but we could also create a new one and delete the existing one. So having done all that, we click on Update Workflow, and the workflow is published. So we can go back over to the board now and have a look here. So if I click on Workflow here, that will trigger the workflow. And the interesting thing here is that when it's completed, it will create a new column and link to that event within this board. And now you can see the Outlook calendar event that has been created. And we can see that the people column's got this Karma Homer, and the email's got the same email address. But if we click through here, we'll see the event within Outlook, and we can see who the organizer is, who the attendees are, the details of the event, and the Microsoft Teams meeting link. And that's it. What we can do with workflows, we can also do with automations. So click on Automate and Manage, Create Automation. And we're running off a button click again. And we have Create Personal Calendar. So again, we are going to choose some credentials. Let's go with the ones that we had. And let's run with the same calendar. But this time have a 30-minute event. And now we can choose things like the start date, subject, which is the item name from Monday.com automation, and the body. So what have we got here? And we can have the location again. And the attendees, the people column, email attendees, whether to create a Teams meeting and whether to append the Monday.com item URL. If the event already exists, let's update the existing event. And this time we're triggering the button click from the automation button. So the automation's been created. We can now trigger this from an automation. So let's trigger item 3 via the automation. And now we can see that a calendar event has been created, populated into that column, and you can see the item event, where it's from, and so on. So there we are, creating personal calendars in Outlook from Monday.com workflows and also from Monday.com automations.